It was a little before dawn when Gretel reached the safety of her own sitting room. She had been capable only of babbling incoherently at Hans, who was still up after a late-night poker game at the inn. He had recognised the seriousness of her condition, not least, he later told her, because she wasn't wearing her precious shoes. So it was that within the hour Gretel was sitting on her daybed, in her nightclothes, taking alternate sips of soup and brandy, her feet soaking in a bowl of hot lavender water. The sun had indeed risen, and its soothing rays drifted through the dusty windows. Gretel thought her morning had never looked so beautiful, and was surprised to find herself fighting back a tear for poor feckless Bruder, who would never see such the sunshine again. She tried to sort the events of the night in her mind, but there were mystifying parts that she simply could not fathom. For a start, why had Princess Charlotte been skulking about in the woods with a stranger? And why had she accused Gretel and the old farmer of kidnapping? And who had fired the arrow that had killed the lion, which had, beyond any doubt, saved her life? And there were still the snatched cats to be dealt with. She was already seriously out of pocket, and no doubt the guard would appear in a few days to collect the second half of his bribe. On top of which, if the princess continued to insist she had been kidnapped, the king might well come after Gretel. At least, given his fragile state of mind, there was a fair chance he would fail to do anything further about it. He did not give the impression of a person fully in command of his senses. Even so, a lawyer seemed like a good idea, and lawyers were expensive. Now she could never get the chance to quiz Bruder about the cat collar on his wrist. She recalled Agnes telling her that a troll held information on the whereabouts of the felines. If she could find him, extract some details, and report progress back to Frau Habsburg, she could legitimately demand some more money. Besides, she reasoned, a few days away might be a good idea, just in case the king sent his troops looking for her, or worse still, employed the odious Kingsman Strudel to arrest her. Gretel would walk a long way to avoid giving him that satisfaction, a very long way indeed. She also remembered Agnes's promise of a tall, dark, handsome stranger. A clear image of the good-looking attendant at the Schloss came back to her. She shook her head to clear it of such nonsense. Hans, she put aside her soup bowl, where are the maps? What maps? Whatever maps we have. I need to locate a troll. He lives near a big lake under a bridge, so there must be a river too, and a place beginning Per. Hans could be heard rooting in the dining room for some time before he reappeared with an armful of badly folded papers. This is the lot, he said. Can't promise you a troll, but there are plenty of lakes and rivers. Here, help me spread them out on the floor. It's not much to go on, he said, is it? Well, we'll just have to make a start. Gretel peered at the expanse of lines and symbols that now carpeted the room. Where are you, Mr. Troll? Where are you? There are lakes everywhere, and rivers. It can't be many leagues distance. I mean, why would anyone more than a day from Gerstenstadt even know about Frau Habsburg's cats? You may have a point. Hans knelt solidly beside her on the floor and gesticulated with his smouldering cigar. What about there? Look, Lake Lipstein looks lovely. All those little villages about the place. Alpine meadows. Quite fancy a holiday there myself. My idea of a holiday does not include trolls. Or how about there? Bad am See. Oh, yes, a spa. Do trolls use spas? No, but you do, given half the chance. This is a business trip, she reminded him. Maybe so, but... Gretel stopped squinting at squiggles on the map and refocused on her brother. It had been many years since they'd holidayed together, and she couldn't help noticing the wistful tone in his voice. There was no denying he could do with a break from his in-home-in routine, and a spa did sound devilishly tempting. And the See upon whose shores the spa was built was a very large lake, after all. Bad am See it is, then, she said, making a proper job of folding the maps. You get yourself off to the stagecoach office and purchase a couple of tickets, and then see if you can't dig the suitcases out of the attic. And what will you be doing all this time? I shall be at Madame Renoir's beauty parlour. Isn't that a bit like cleaning the house before you get the cleaners in? I don't expect you to understand, Hans, being a man, but if I am to bear my carcass to strangers for all manner of intimate and stimulating treatments, there is work to be done. I'll give you the money for the fares, but do not, I repeat, do not call in at the inn before you have bought them. Get the tickets and come straight home. Have you got that? Tickets home. He attempted a boyish and winsome look. and then in? Gretel grimaced. If you'll stop making that deeply disturbing face at me, yes. Madame Renoir's beauty parlour was a relatively recently established business in Gerstenstadt, and one that Gretel had been delighted to patronise from the first day it opened its fragrant doors. It was as if a tiny speck of Paris sophistication had alighted upon the town, and the place was immeasurably improved by it. Gretel had always found routine maintenance of her womanly physique a chore, but had long ago realised that if she were to present a professional and polished front to the world, effort had to be expended. She was, therefore, pleased beyond measure that she could place herself in the capable, manicured hands of Madame Renoir and her staff, and let the effort be all theirs. She was soon reclining in a purpose-built chair beneath an unsympathetic light, while the proprietor deftly plucked at her eyebrows. Mon Dieu, Fraulein Gretel, your appointment has not come a moment too soon. Gretel spoke through gritted teeth as the tweezers did their work. I have been extremely busy of late. Ah, another of your interesting cases to solve, perhaps. Ouch! Quite so. Alors, what an exciting life you lead. Hold still, please. Ouch! Gretel was fond of a bit of showing off as the next person, and felt escaping lions must carry some worth as an anecdote, but the memory of Bruder's death rattle was too fresh in her mind for her to talk about it comfortably. Oh, you know, ouch! One rises to the challenge. Good grief! Et donc, now you are perfect. I doubt it. Well, your eyebrows, at least. Gretel dabbed tears from her eyes and sat up. She noticed a particularly pretty girl tidying up the towels. She recognised her as the same girl she had spotted on her visit to Frau Habsburg. I see you have a new keen employee, she said. Madame Renoir tutted loudly. New she may be, keen she most decidedly is not. Oh? She came with good references and does her work well, but mon Dieu, her humour! Never have I encountered such a morose creature. Gretel looked again at the girl and could see now that her eyes were puffy and red from crying, and there was indeed a sadness emanating from her. When clients come to our establishment, Madame Renoir went on, they do not wish to find a person who is moping and snivelling. What's the matter with her? Je ne sais pas, she will not say, but I suspect a man. Ah. Whatever it is, if she continues in this manner, I will be forced to ask her to leave. I would be sorry to add to her troubles, mais voilà. Gretel thought there was something familiar about the girl, and yet she could not place her. The face, the features seemed to ring some distant bell, more distant than a few days ago. Once again her brain began whirring, sifting through dusty files of memory, attempting to ascertain what it was about the girl that was intriguing. What did you say her name was? She asked. Johanna. I really know nothing more about her save for her work references. She is not from this town. Now, Fräulein, if you will step into the cubicle, I have the hot wax ready for you. Oh, good, said Gretel, her mind for once not fully taken up with the torture to come, but busy trying to place the mysterious weeping girl. It was only as she lifted herself from her chair and looked properly about her that she noticed every seat in the house was taken. You are unusually busy for a work-day Thursday, Madame Renoir. Why, Fräulein, can you have forgotten? Tomorrow is no ordinary day. Tomorrow is Starkbierfest. End of the chapter.